what we're going to see on the 1st of January, 80 million birds sitting in battery cages in various units across the European Union, and a lot of those eggs will end up in Britain. And although our Department of Agriculture says that they can check this and do this, that and the other, what they are suggesting simply isn't good enough. What we need are spot checks across the entire egg trade, asking, where did your eggs come from? Prove that you have made a big effort to find the source of those eggs. And unless that happens, people will simply import the egg powder, import the processed egg product and use it. And it came from an egg that was laid in a battery cage. And that will have the effect of undermining our market.
And is it the case that perhaps it's eggs used in the catering industry, used in sort of processed foods and the like, that actually might be more problematic than the whole eggs that consumers might buy on the shelves?
It's not a question of might be, it is definitely. The supermarkets, by and large, are playing ball here. For a long time, they have wanted to know where the products come from. It's called traceability. And so they aren't the problem at all. I would expect them to play the game. The real problem comes with the caterers, who use egg powder as cheaply as they can get it. And they're the people who the government has got to go and visit and say, where did this egg powder come from? Where did these Scotch eggs come from? That's what they've got to do. Name them and shame them and fine them. Make it absolutely worthwhile, make it absolutely clear that if you go wrong on this, it'll hurt financially.
And how viable do you think it would be to carry out those kind of spot checks that you're talking about?
Well, I don't see that it would be non-viable. Yes, it would take a human resource, but after all, the government's used to going into farm offices and looking at VAT, etc. The onus would be on the person who purchased the egg to say where it came from. They must guarantee the provenance of their product. That is not asking too much. After all, it's not just the producers of the eggs are going to lose out here, it's also the customers in our country. They think that from now on, or from January the 1st on, they're going to be eating eggs that weren't laid in battery cages, and actually are going to be conned, because some of them will be.
Do you think the British government has argued hard enough for a ban on imports from countries that don't comply?
No, I think they've just swallowed the Commission line that everything will be all right on the night. And it certainly isn't going to be. And of course, the huge difficulty is, if this was really properly enforced across the European Union on the 1st of January, there would be a huge shortage of eggs in the European Union. And those consumers of eggs would expect to be able to get them from somewhere, and of course they would come in from India, Argentina and the Ukraine, probably in even worse welfare production systems than they are at the moment. So it is a no-win situation completely.
The government today is very much saying that, it feels it's taking tough action on this problem, but does it need to go further? Do we need to, in the UK, consider actually banning imports of eggs, or at least from countries that aren't complying with this new law?
Well, first of all, they're not being tough. They're not being tough. They've gone around a few supermarkets saying, look, you'll play the game. The real problem is with the catering industry. That's where these eggs will come in, and many of these are small outfits. I don't buy that at all. If they really want to do something about this, they have got to go to the people who trade eggs and say, where did those eggs come from? Prove it. Now, the other point you mentioned was about banning imports. Now, this is where World Trade Organization rules start to come to play, because the WTO say that no one who is part of their setup can ban the import of a product purely because they don't like the way that it was produced. Yes, you can ban it if it's going to be a human health problem. Yes, you can ban it if it's going to be a livestock health problem. And yes, you can ban it if it's going to be a phytosanitary problem. But you cannot ban it because you don't like the way it was produced. And so Jim Pace, etc., cannot actually do that, not just under EU rules, but WTO rules. That's what's made this so difficult.